When do you need a team in the music industry? Now, you know the people that immediately come to mind, usually managers, attorneys, accountants, agents. So, this is the team that's going to make your career possible and are going to be the people that get you to the next level. So, I'll kick it off with when do you need to get this team into place? I go when you have a baseline of what you're doing. Okay. So just meaning having someone to come into your project to help is only helpful when you're doing something. If you know your content that you're pushing out, right? You have kind of a content strategy for social media when you are actively, trying to get shows, like you have some kind of vision for your career. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to have some kind of plan because you can't start directing a team if you don't even know what to do yet or what your plan is, even a starting point. Like it would be very helpful, I think, to just do kind of like those little brain cloud things where you're just kind of right, you're artist and then you just kind of start branching off into what kind of things that you think you need and what your priorities are so you can get kind of a scope of what it is that you need before you even consider having who you
Well, and then also I think a lot of people, and it's not just artists, it's not artists and musicians, but it's music producers. It's anyone who's trying to make something happen
absolutely.
for themselves in the music business. But what they're doing is that they're thinking that by going and getting a manager, that manager is going to come in and solve all of their
Mm.
problems. So the answer is that's probably not the case because unfortunately, most managers are going to suck,
Mm.
right? And you're going to have to go through a couple, and then you're getting signed into contracts that are just going to lock you up with that person. Now they're taking a percentage. But even if you do get someone who's pretty good, like they have some experience, they can give you some general mentorship. I mean, again, you are partnering. When you have a team member, it's so you can delegate stuff and be like, hey, I need help with this stuff. I need to focus on this. You do this. But if you don't have that clear vision, then you're going to be kind of spinning your wheels and your team is
Sure.
going to get frustrated and you're going to get
Mm.
frustrated because you're going to think that it's their job to make you a big star.
And make sure you're not signing your life away to that first manager because you're excited for your first manager, and then they take money for their whole career because you didn't read it or didn't read the sunset clause. You're
Yeah,
like,
no,
oh, that
guys,
sounds
I've
nice.
done a whole full length video on, well, multiple on management deals, what to look for, what to watch out for, how to negotiate them. So just search on the channel video page to find that. So when is it time? Now we're talking about the times, you don't want to get a team, but when is it time? So for me, at the point that I did start to kind of like bring on a team was because I was doing the social media stuff. I had kind of a vision and I just needed help because now I had a time constraint. And so what I would say is that, consider, and this kind of blew this artist's mind that I was talking to because, she's been doing her thing forever and she, has built a big brand and she's always signed traditional like label agreements and traditional management agreements. And I go, have you ever thought about the fact that you could hire someone and pay them hourly to help you? You don't have to hire someone, right, or sign with someone, so they're taking a big percentage. So remember that when I say a team, it doesn't have to be any kind of traditional. Who was it? Alicia? Alicia Keys.
Alicia Keys.
We Yeah, we reacted to an interview that she did on the Breakfast Club and she talked about this exact point and she just
Genius.
goes like I fired everyone and I just started to hire people and she just paid them a salary.
Yeah, and she was talking about industry standard, and she's like, I don't care about industry standard. If you want to
I
work
don't
with me,
care.
this is what it's going to be. And the way she was so a matter. If you look for, you should look for our coverage on the Alicia Keys Breakfast
Yeah.
Club interview. But like, it was such a move. The way she was just so confident, it was just kind of mind blowing. Like, yeah, like do whatever you want to do. Like if it's your business, run it how you want to run it. Like, you know what I mean? Industry standards are just kind of like baselines what kind of people get. It doesn't mean that like when you're a musician, you're not working for a giant music corporation and that you have to adhere to their rules and regulations of how much you have to take or how much a manager
Yeah.
gets. Everybody's just people. Negotiate your deals, man.
Yeah, 100%. So, when do you need a team? You need a team when you have something going on and it's time to scale. So, if you feel
Mm.
frustrated and you go, I just need to hire someone to tell me what to do, it's totally cool to hire a mentor. And this is going to be my only kind
Mm.
of carve out. People will take an hour with me. Okay, so they're hiring an attorney technically, but that's not what I'm talking about. They're hiring me just as a mentor to sit down, look at the project. What do we need to do? What's the business plan? That's okay. Hire a mentor to look at your project and to help you, okay, to kind of strategize. What I'm talking about is when you have the plan and now you're in, the weeds every day and hustling, that's the time you get a team. And then you get people that are, hopefully into what you're doing, right? Like that's the next move. Hire people who actually care about what you're doing because they're going to help you grow.
Yeah, and I mean, like I think a good time to know when you need to start finding your first team member is when you don't have time to do everything. When you've
Right.
got, something mastered and you should already know how to do anything that you need a team member for, you should already have an understanding of what that is before you hire somebody to do it for you, to take it over for you. Your team members that you have should be taking things over for you and enhancing them, not just going, "Hey, I have no idea how to post something." Like you should have already kind of figured that out before you are just being so codependent on a team member, because you're going to go through them. And when that team member is
Yeah.
gone, you're going to be stuck with not having anybody to fill those gaps, and you're not going to have any idea. So what, your social media is just going to shut down because you don't have a team member that knows how to do it? You don't know
Yeah.
how to,
And
you're
I'll,
never going
and
to play
I'll,
again?
I'll add on to that you know, I say this all the time. If you are, for example, so excited to sign with a label because you think the label is going to do all the stuff for you, remember there will be a time that you're not with the label, you're not with the manager, you're not with the person that you're relying on to do
Yes.
that thing for you. So if you literally don't know how to do it for yourself, when that person leaves, again, when no one stays with you forever, when that person leaves, you will be back to square one. So it's really important that you actually learn this stuff. And that's why we do this entire channel. Learn the music business. And for Mr. Guitars, this one's for you. Learn the music business.